Okay? You came to me about the situation with Tommy. Okay? I'm going to take your statement. I want you to be specific at the time of the incident. I can pull videotape from it. I can talk to the individuals up there one by one and follow up on it. Okay? I'll discuss it based off of their statements and your statements. I'll make a decision on how it needs to be handled. Okay? And where the accountability needs to lie. Alright? You started grabbing at these other things, talking about that you feel threatened and you're worried about losing your job and this and that. I'm trying to pinpoint where that comes from. Hand to God, I don't recall any situation where I've told Calvin that, or Kevin, or whoever's worked on Thursday, that you need to be terminated or held accountable or anytime that your name's been brought up, it's that you've been doing better, you've been more consistent, you do what you're supposed to, and you're gone this and that. And that's it. Honestly.
That's all it should be, honestly. Because I swear to you, that's all I try to do, Zane, is a good job.
I don't understand.
I don't bother people.
I understand where you're coming from with this, because I'm sure it was embarrassing, I'm sure it was uncalled for, and it sounds like it was unprofessional, and there were people around. I understand where you're coming from.
Right.
Okay? But everything else that was grabbing at, I didn't even think there was an issue before, because honestly, your performance never been brought into question. And you work third shift and you hear all these different things of what's going on days, and Zane comes in, we see him for 15 or 30 minutes, maybe at best on some days, and he's upset about this or that. I'm not out to fire anybody. I swear to you. That's the last thing I do. I don't try to give people jobs and hire them so I can fire them. That's not my mentality. And if somebody's carrying their workload and they come in and they do what they're supposed to do and they keep them themselves and they're happy doing that, why would I want to disrupt that?
I have no idea. That's where the threat comes in, because I have no idea, Zane. But why do people want to bother me? I have no idea. That's the whole part.
To me, it sounds like you're listening to too many different things. Again, this situation with Tommy, it sounds separate. It sounds like an isolated incident where somebody was one-on-one contact, somebody said these things. I see where you're coming from. These other things, it sounds like you're being led to believe some things that I just don't think have any bearing, have any real merit. Yeah, you say that this is how it is, but it's more that it's hearsay and it's a vibe more than it is a fact. I can sit here and tell you that I've appreciated the work that you do, and I haven't had any, again, no question as far as your performance. So this is a surprise to me that you feel threatened about your job, and that's why I asked, what level of coaching are you on? You said me it's a written, and it's something that was even questionable that you and Calvin have been discussing working out. So it's hard for me to understand exactly why you feel threatened outside of this event. And if it's this event, let's talk about it, let's look into it, and let's try to resolve it. Okay? And that's the proper protocol. I'm sitting and talking with you. I mean, I don't have to, but again, I want to know what's going on so I can address it. I don't want this to escalate and to become anything habitual, a situation where a manager feels like he can go and do something like this. That's not the environment that I assure you. And again, all I have are my words, and I can tell you this, but I'm asking you to at least extend me the opportunity to try to improve it. In the past situations, I have looked into it. It might not be the outcome that you were desiring. Obviously, we have a major difference on how the outcome of the last instance was resolved. Again, I won't go there, but I feel there was some misunderstanding where we're going with that. Allow me to look into this. I mean, that would at least be a start. I mean, is that fair?
That's certainly fair if you want to look into it. That's fine. I'm just telling you. I do want you to look into it. You can get other people's and see how he was acting. It's something that continuously happens. People in management just feel like that they can act that way.
But that's a broad statement.
I'm talking about.
If you come at me.
For example, first night I ever worked with Kevin.
Okay.
He came to third shift. he came to third shift and told us that he had an agenda to fire everybody. Now you come at people with already an agenda to fire somebody, they don't even have the chance to prove they're a good employee to you. He came up to me and there was another lady, I can't remember her name, the young lady that used to be a supervisor on overnight.
Shanita.
Yes, Shanita. She was there. He had went and got her and came over to cosmetics where I was working and started yelling at me. This is right before lunch. What do you think you're doing over here? Just his whole attitude of yelling at me, the way that they talk to you. Then he tells me that I don't do my job. That I should be fired. I don't do my job. And she witnessed all this. And she went to him and was like, why are you talking to her like that? She does her job. You know, she told me this afterwards. She said after he talked to you that way and you left, I told him, I said, she's a good worker. Why are you talking to her like this? Maybe, you know, you want something different from third shift than what she's used to giving these people. She came up to me personally and told me that. It's attitudes like that where they feel like, where management feels like it has the right to cuss at you, to tell you to shut up, to scream at you, to tell you things like they're going to get you. It's that whole mentality that it's all right to treat us any way that they feel, to threaten us in any way that they feel. And then I've had situations where people worked underneath these managers, like Decorah. There was a girl that worked underneath Decorah that loved Decorah. That would do anything she could to get Decorah's attention. Decorah and I had issues. She saw Decorah writing me up in the office one day, and then after that, she came in the cooler, in the dairy cooler, and pushed me on the ground and told me that if I bothered Decorah, she's going to whip my ass. And then I go and try to tell Decorah about it, and she didn't want to hear it. So it's all kinds of little things like that that just get brushed under the carpet, nobody ever finds out about, nothing's ever done about them. Like the Carmichael incident, I went to her and Ken about it. And she actually had the nerve to yell at me and tell me that, you know, I would need to stay for my whole shift. This was at about 6:30 in the morning. I needed to stay for my whole shift until 7 o'clock. She didn't care that I was a mess and a nervous wreck, that if I tried to leave, that she would fire me. So the mentality was like that all the time. I have to deal with people like that. Not just me, other people that work here have to deal with that kind of mentality. And then perhaps they act a different way in front of you or somebody else. But I'm telling you, people act however they want to act when they're not being watched. And it's ridiculous.
I can tell you that with Kevin or Calvin, it's been brought to my attention. I've personally spoken with them. We have addressed that situation. They understand that there's a line that they don't need to cross. That they are managers, or they're supervisors, they're leaders, and they're expected to carry themselves in a professional manner.
Exactly.
And I have expressed that to them.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to come at anybody cussing and yelling and screaming and threatening them. Why do I want anybody coming at me like that? It's just a job. Like I said, if you don't like me, just fire me. Threaten me.
I understand completely. And that's again why I asked what level of coaching you're on, where you're at, and what's been the relationship as far as your performance goes. And that's where it needs to stay. If there is a situation with your performance and they're not happy with it, say, do this or I'm going to fire you. They professionally sit down,
bring me into the office and
discuss what the issues are, and hold you accountable.
And that's all I ask for.
But again, I'm surprised because anytime performance is discussed, or when we talk about third shift, never mention your name's never mentioned in negative light. No problems. So, I'm surprised by this, and I understand that this is Tommy, a first shift manager, that you're having a situation with. Obviously, I'll look into that differently. But as far as your performance goes, nothing's ever been brought into question.
It shouldn't be. I'm a good worker, you know. Honestly, I just simply want to come to work and do my job.
Well, that's all you need to be worried about. And if there's a situation outside of that, say, trust me to look into it and follow up on it and see where it's coming from. And I'll do that.
And I just want it known that this man does not need to talk or approach me anymore. I feel threatened by him. Regardless of what the outcome of your investigation is or who you feel is right or wrong.
You need to you write your statement up first, and I need to go over the specifics of the statement so we can approach it and expedite the process. Do you have a written statement yet, or do you want to bring it back?
I will write it out and bring it to you.
Times.
Yeah, exactly what happened.
Locations.
Exactly what. Everybody was cashing their paychecks up there. So
what time was it?
It was between 7:10 and 7:30 because the lady at the cash office was running.
So it's not like a situation. It was like a quarter till, and you were just off early.
No, this was after 7 o'clock. Right, this was after 7 o'clock, and I.
And what day was it?
This was the 23rd. This was last Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
When we got our paychecks, we were standing in line to call cash our checks.
And we got away from this. I mean, can you kind of, what was the purpose of the conversation? Why was he?
He approached us and asked us if we had gotten.
Have you talked to him or seen him any time before that?
No.
That was
he just came up. People were standing in line. He just came up to the front of the line and started yelling at everybody. Did you all get permission to leave? And I'm trying not to yell, but he was yelling at us, screaming at us, talking to us in a hateful tone of voice. And like I said, nobody would answer him at first. And I was closest to him, and so he was yelling, and it was bothering me, I guess, the most. And so he asked again. I said, did you get permission to leave? And nobody would answer him, so I think he started to say it again, and I looked at him and I said, excuse me, sir, we're all off the clock here. You don't need to be talking to us. And so he looked at me and yelled, and like I said...
Are you the only one that said anything?
Yes, I'm the only one that spoke up and said anything.
Okay.
Everybody else just kind of was trying to ignore him. Anyway, I said, excuse me, sir, we're all off the clock now. You don't need to talk to us that way. He looked at me and yelled, that's not what I asked you. And I said, I can't help that what you asked me. This is what I'm telling you. We're off the clock. You don't need to talk to us. And that's when he looked at me and like stomped his foot because we were kind of close to each other and said, I'll get you. I'll take care of you later. And then I found out.
Any other managers up there? Anybody working there? Like who was working at the service desk, you know?
I think it was a lady named Jackie that was at the service desk.
No CSS, no supervisor or anything else?
I just know the people that were standing in line behind me, and then there was people out in the lobby looking around.
Okay.
Because he was yelling loud. But I'm not sure who all was standing out there, but I know everybody that was standing in line. And like I said, Miss Jackie was at the register up there. She saw and heard everything too. And I actually asked her what his name was because I wasn't even sure what his name was at that time. And she was the one that told me his name and everything. And then I stood in line to buy a couple of things, and the whole time I'm in line, he's like looking at me from customer service all hateful and stuff. I just don't need that.
I can't think of anybody that does, so we'll write that out. Like I said, give me the names of people I can speak with and go from there. Talk to anybody else yet?
No, I waited until the courthouse opened up yesterday so I could find it and go file this paperwork. And then once I had my paperwork filed, I was coming to talk to somebody. Like I said, I don't feel like just talking to y'all anymore is good enough. You know, I'm sorry you take that the wrong way or whatever. That's just how I feel. I feel like I have to take extra steps to protect myself as a person on the job.
Again, I'm sorry you feel that way. Hopefully we can resolve this and say the outcome that you're desiring or what you're looking for, but you know, be handled accordingly and how it should be handled.
I just want people to know to leave me alone. That's all I'm asking is for people to just leave me alone.